So yeah, so basically at the samplers, a switch into one channel, mixer to the L and R outputs, and that's how I made that. And then of course I got my addition. Here's the output. Now I got this panel index because you're gonna need that if you're gonna use tabs. So when you switch to your oscillators and your multiple playback engine, you're only looking at one at a time and not both of them. That's gonna conserve space. To get that, you need to have the input. Is this a regular input? Go to built-in module, terminal, and port. And if I'm moving too fast, it's because I'm limited amount of time with YouTube, and I'm trying to get it all in. And for those who feel like that I'm not moving fast enough, I'm trying to be slow enough for the people who don't really know Reaktor that well. So I got the panel index. You're gonna need that for the tabs. Right click built-in module, go to panel, and go to panel index, and that comes up. Somebody would call. We're gonna ignore this phone call right now. All right, so you got your stack macro. You put your oscillators in there. Inside the macro, you have your panel index. Now, outside of your stack macro, you got to have, where's it at? Okay, for this one, you got to have this. Now, I'm going to admit, I don't know what the hell this is. Really, what I did was, I like to save money and time, and I saved time by stealing this from the Carbon 2 synthesizer, because this is what you're going to need in order to make those tabs. And normally the tabs will have pictures on it. I'm not very good with the graphics in Reaktor. I could do graphics, just matching them up with Reaktor. I haven't quite gotten with that yet because I was so concentrating on making things sound good. Like, I felt like, you know what, it can be ugly, but if it sounds good, nobody's gonna see what I'm using. They just hear the music. So I haven't really got with dealing with pictures, but basically that's what it's about, like dealing with pictures and the tabs. But I'll actually put this in the Reaktor Masters group, so you'll be able to get it and just use it. Just know that you gotta have it. Named it IDX. You're gonna need it. You need to put it in the input. Your pan index. Here's your input, and connect that input into this IDX, and you'll be fine. You don't need to know what it is. You don't know how to make a toilet, but you know how to use it, right? All right, so let's recap. We know how to make our oscillators inside our stack macro. We know how to make it into tabs. This is going to make these two tabs using the panel index. All right, we're going to wire that to a filter, which I have several things wired to the filter. Remember my input, wired to my filters. My oscillator 3 and multiple playback engine and oscillator 1 and 2 are all wired into this addition into my multi-mode filter. And how I describe oscillator 1 and 2 is going to work the same for these two. You put them inside your stack macro. All right, so then I wired my ASDR and my filter ASDR inside a stack macro. Same thing. You need that panel index, you need that input, and it's going to need its own IDX. So really, you can put anything into tabs. Just put it in a stack macro, make it, and then there you go. You need an input for your ASDR, ADSR. You need to have an input for your gates. So make sure you make an input and rename it. Name it G. And here's your outputs for your oscillator, and this is for your filter. Because this one will control the filter, and this one will control the oscillator. All right. And what I did is put a LFO on that filter. Okay. Going into the E and V, which is going to control like the cutoff of the filter. The LFO is. Then got an ASDR for that filter, so that and my LFO is going into that. Is that a pitch bend? I got a pitch bend going into that too. Didn't realize I did that. So the pitch bend is actually going to control that too. So the LFO is controlling it, ASDR is controlling it, and the pitch bend is controlling it. Which I don't know if I want the pitch bend to control it. I think I might change that. And that's one thing I love about Reaktor too. You're always going to, it's never going to be finished. Never. You're always going to change stuff. And I think what I'm going to do, pitch bend. I think I'm going to leave that for right now, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it for, that modulation wheel to control that filter. Well, anyway, but I have that wired into the addition, into the filter, the LFO, and the ASDR. All wired to that addition. The addition is like a adapter, basically. So that's why I have those wired to that into the filter, because they all cannot be wired directly into the filter. Unless I go in and change it, and this is more work than what it requires. What else? We talked about LFO, we talked about filters. I got the multi-mode filter going into the Pro 52 filter. And then I have that Pro 52 filter going into the high shelf. Of course, I got my pitch going into my note pitch. Anything like of all the filters got to go into that note pitch. All right. Here's a cutoff. I made a knob for the cutoff and resonance. I make knobs for them. The multi-mode is going into the Pro 52 filter, which is the boost, and it's going into the high shelf. So technically, it's going in 2 different times. You know what I'm saying? So the signal is actually going in from the left side of the multi-filter directly into the high shelf, and then on the right side it's going through the Pro 52 filter, then going into the high shelf. So it's going in 2 different times. And then I got the outputs going into these LNRs. These LNRs that's going into my effects. So I'm hoping that I'm kind of describing it as best as possible. What else can I talk about? This is nothing. Let me go ahead and delete that. That was something else I was messing with. What else can I talk about? I think that's about it right now. This is the structure. And then the next video, I'm going to go into effects. How I set up the effects. It's pretty simple. A lot simpler than the instrument itself. But I'm going to go into the effects. All right.